Hi guys, a very warm welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Gladys Wanjiro Karobia, and on this channel we focus on self-improvement on every aspect of our lives, everything to do with self-love, self-care, and also how to foster meaningful relationships with ourselves and others. On today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys tips on how to set healthy boundaries. But before that, how about you get to know what are boundaries, why it is very important to set boundaries, and why it is very hard to set boundaries. Boundaries are limits on what you are willing and not willing to allow in your life. I'll say it's because when you set boundaries, you're just telling people who you are, what is okay and not okay with you, and therefore people tend to adjust their behavior when they're interacting with you. Sometimes that is not really the case. You find that you might lose people who will not be okay with that, but I feel like that's okay because you'll be losing people who are not even supposed to be in your life in the first place. I'd say it's a guilt, and you tend to find that people are hesitant to draw that line in order to avoid to be rejected, or sometimes in order to avoid hurting other people's feelings. And then you find yourself that you rotate on this circle of people pleasing or giving so much that you're not in a capacity to give in order just to please. And with that being said, let's head now into today's video and see how we can set these boundaries. Communication is very, very important because sometimes we tend to think that the other person knows what's not okay with you, and sometimes that's not the case. So for instance, you have a friend who's always coming over to your place unannounced. They never bother to message or call you to inform you that they are gonna come over to your place, and it's something that happens on a regular basis, and you find that it's not something that you're very okay with. So instead of discussing that same issue with another person, how about you talk to your friend and tell them, oh, by the way, I don't like you coming to my house unannounced. How about next time you give me a call or check to see whether it's okay and I'm available for you to come over? Simple, right? Communication. So guys, I feel like this is a very important key to consider, especially when you want to set these boundaries. And this takes me to my second point. When you say yes, when you really want to say no, you're not being nice, you're just being dishonest. And how can someone authentically love you and respect you when you cannot authentically show them and tell them who you are? Let's learn to be very, very direct with our answers. If you're not going to make it to a party or anything like your friend or family ask you to or invite you, let's learn to be direct with our answers so that we'll also be people who someone can rely on. Instead of saying you're gonna be there, knowing very well that you're not gonna be there, and then coming up with this bunch of excuses, calling in sick, and therefore you tend to be this person who people cannot rely on. For instance, you're this kind of a person who you don't want to portray yourself as unhelpful, and you have a friend who is asking for a favor or something that they want you to do. And on the other hand, you have this friend you have that they can equally do the same job like you do. You can actually recommend the friend to the other person, and you find that you really help the person even if you never did it yourself. And I think that this is a very important tip you can take, especially if you're that kind of a person who you always want to be there for other people without neglecting yourself as well. And this takes me to my fourth point. If you're last on your own list, you have this negative self-talk about yourself, you feel the need to save everybody else, the need to always be there for everybody, you inevitably attract people who operate on the same level. So let's take a look at it this way. When someone calls you and asks you for a favor, let's not rush to be saying yes or no. Let's take our time so that we'll be able to know whether we are saying yes because we want to say yes, like from your heart, you really want to do it, or we are saying yes because we are afraid of hurting the other person, or not being liked, or being or out of fear of being rejected. And then when we do it from this angle, you find that you will not be operating from this perspective of people pleasing, and therefore you'll be doing something from your heart. And then when you want to say no, it will be easy for you to tell the other person that no, I cannot do it because of this and this. And that's all for today's video, guys. I hope this video was helpful. Also, please feel free to share your thoughts about this topic, and also or any other tips you may have on how to set healthy boundaries. Please subscribe to my channel. Also click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I do an upload, which I do every Sunday. Until next week, guys, bye bye.